Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome back to the library. As you know, April is National Poetry Month. I've got displays of different poets posted around the library. I've got books written by those poets. I have another section of poetry books over there on the curvy bookshelf. And today, we are going to enjoy a few poems from the Dirt Book. Now, thinking about poems that we read last year in the library and thinking about poems that you may have been reading in Miss Lopez's class recently, because I'm pretty sure you're studying poetry in there too, what do you already know about poems and poetry? What do you already know about poems and poetry? I see a lot of hands. I'm pretty excited about this. Okay, Joseph, what do you already know about poems and poetry?
A poem that has a rhyme or something that has been said a lot of times like one.
Oh, very good. So a lot of poems use rhyming words. And then the other thing I heard you say is that sometimes the poem will use the same word over and over again. So repeating words or repeating phrases. That is excellent. Let's hear from one more person. What else do you already know about poems and poetry? Smith.
They have onomatopoeia.
Oh my goodness. That is such a good...
Can I tell you what onomatopoeia?
Well, first of all, my mind is just blown because you're in first grade and you just said the biggest word ever, onomatopoeia. So tell me, what is onomatopoeia?
It's like when you hear if you hear the word and you hear you hear the sounds in the word, that's what the letters are.
Oh, so the word...
Like boom and crash.
The word sounds...
The same way as
I got it. Okay, so that's awesome. So you know what? In the interest of time, hold those thoughts. Hold those thoughts. You're kind of the expert on poems. I had no idea. Hold that thought, Jason, because I do want to get into our book and read these poems. As I'm reading the poems and you're listening to the poems, I want you listening for rhyming words. I want you to listen for repeating words. And let's listen for onomatopoeia, words that sound the way they look. And alliteration, which is where when words have the same sound, like slippery snake, right? You know what? You are the expert, so I'm just going to jump right into this. So the poems that we're going to read about today are about animals that live in the dirt. So how would you describe dirt? How would you describe dirt? Liam, how would you describe dirt?
It can make you dirty.
Dirt can make you dirty. Absolutely. I like that one. Mariana, how would you describe dirt?
It's black or brown.
The color. It's typically black or brown. How would you describe dirt, Livia?
It keeps plants, living things alive.
Ah, so what is its function? What does it do? It helps keep plants and living things alive. Excellent. We could talk all day about dirt. I'm just glad you already have your brain there, so put your hands down. The last thing I'm going to ask you before we start, what are some objects or living things that you yourself have actually found in the dirt?
Yes.
Not something you read about, not something you saw on TV or a YouTube video, but you were actually outside, you were in the dirt or looking at the dirt, and you saw an object or a living thing. And you can just quickly tell me, Lucas?
A worm.
A worm. Ava?
Dog poop.
Oh, dog poop. I hope you were looking only and not touching it. Saul?
A parasite.
A parasite. Oh my goodness. Jason?
A spider.
A spider. Liam Fowler?
A poisonous caterpillar.
A poisonous caterpillar. And also, I hope you say that. And one more that I haven't heard from yet. Una? An ant. Excellent. Hold those thoughts. I'm going to read these poems, and you may hear a poem about one of the living things or objects that you've seen before. So, we're listening for three things. Rhyming words? Repeating words?
And onomatopoeia.
Onomatopoeia, and I'm going to add a fourth thing, I'm so sorry. Alliteration, okay?
Alliteration.
So, rhyming words, repeating words, onomatopoeia, and alliteration, because this is the genius.
Also the riddle.
This is the genius class. So, let's get into it, okay? The Dirt Book. Poems about animals that live beneath our feet, written by David L. Harrison and illustrated by Kate Cosgrove. And I love this illustration because it shows what's happening above ground. I see trees, grass, birds flying through the air, kids running, there's a cat, and then I also see what's happening underground. I see lots of dirt, I see an earthworm, then I see these holes that animals have dug and they're living in the dirt. Or I don't know if they're living there, but they're at least hanging out there in the dirt. So, oh, by the way, this book is really cool because here's the spine of my book, right? And normally I open a book this way, right? And I'm reading the book like this, but what do you notice about this book, everybody?
It's supposed to open it like this.
Yeah, this is a sideways book. So I'm going to turn the book this way. The spine will be up here at the top, and I have to go like this. And so my arm is going to be holding it. You're watching carefully. Here we go. Here's our title page, the Dirt Book, publisher's page, dedication page. This has a table of contents. So you're going to see the list, all the different names of the poems, and then it tells you what page those poems start on. Off we go. However, this is not even a poem. This is the introduction to the book, and it's written in prose, so typical sentence structure. So listen carefully. This book is about dirt. We get dirt on our pants, under our fingernails, in our hair. Wet dirt helps mud dauber wasps stick their houses onto our houses. Dry dirt makes us sneeze on windy days. Dirt seems to be everywhere, but there's less of it than you might think. Oceans, lakes, and rivers cover much of the earth. Most of what's left is too rainy, or dry, or rocky, or sandy, or steep, or hot, or cold to support much dirt. The first dirt was formed almost 4 billion years ago, when Earth was young. Most of it may be less than 2 million years old. More dirt is being made all the time, but it can take hundreds of years to make a layer 1 inch deep. What is dirt anyway? Where does it come from? What's in it? What's down there? Are there things down there creeping, crawling, sleeping, and growing in the dark where not the tiniest pinhole of light can ever reach? If we could ride a magic elevator straight down into the world beneath our feet, what do you think we'd see? When you turn the page, you are going to find out. Now, this is the last bit of fictional information you're going to see in this book. This magic elevator is not real, okay?
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool though. I mean, it looks like a tree and it's being lowered down into the earth with these vines. But when I turn the page and start reading poem number 1, everything else is going to be factual information. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, here's our first poem. Dirt Recipe. Grind up flakes cracked from rocks and chipped by prying roots. Add dead things like rotting leaves, bees, decaying shoots. Mix with maggots, beetles, mites, centipedes, worms. Serves a host of hungry fungi and at least 1 billion germs. Does anyone want to try to make this recipe at home?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Probably get grounded if I use
Me.
I see a couple of people might want to try it. Now, if you were going to modify, which is a big word, if you were going to modify or change this recipe, what ingredients would you add? They've given you a lot of different ingredients, but if you were going to kind of make this recipe your own, what ingredients might you add to your dirt recipe? What ingredients would you add? Ava, what would you add to this recipe?
Dead flies.
Ooh, dead flies. That would be perfect to make some dirt. Anyone else have something that they would possibly add to make this recipe their own? Joseph.
I can add some like was thinking about, but I could add a rotten stick and a rotten bug.
Love it. Rotten stick, rotten bug. Perfect. To make some rotten dirt. Anyone else think of something you might add to make this recipe your own? Jessica.
Could add some sand.
Oh, I love it. You could add some sand to your dirt because the sand can be found in dirt. Excellent. Friends, I know you've got more ideas, but we're going to keep reading. So put those hands.
Well, I was gonna
remove something.
Oh, so sometimes if you're making a recipe you don't like one of the ingredients, so you don't include it. Saul, what did you want to remove?
I wanted to remove the germs.
Okay, no germs in Saul's dirt. All right, let's turn the page. At the roots of things, scraggly, twisted clusters creep thirstily, dig deep, branch out in crooked slants, mine water for their plants. Silently they do their work, mold down through earthy murk, form anchors, tangle there, give plants strength to sway in air. And I heard something in this poem that you told me could be found in poem, and I'm going to repeat one little part of this poem. It said, scraggly twisted clusters creep thirstily, dig deep. Dig deep. What do you notice about those two words? Dig deep.
Alliteration.
Lucas?
It could be
It could be ants, but I'm thinking about the words themselves.
alliteration.
One of those things, alliteration. They both start with what sound? D, 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 d. Good job, good job. Okay, here comes our first animal. Doodlebug. One-way ride. Doodlebug, fashions a funnel, so innocent looking, yet be there no doubt about all of the ants that will come slippy sliding till Doodlebug greets them, and none will get out. Trapdoor spider.
Yes.
The waiting game. Lurks in hidden, buried lair, motionlessly. For the unaware cricket, centipede, roach, waits, watches it approach, opens the door, leaps, and zap. Another meal goes down the track. Zap, trap. What do you notice, everybody? Rhyming words. Now, do you know, I'm going to be honest with you, up until I read this book 2 weeks ago, I had no idea that a spider would live underground. So do you know so this spider, he's hunting for his food, he's underground, he's laid this trap for them. Do you know of other ways that different spiders hunt for food? Different than the trapdoor spider? What's another way a spider hunts for food? What's another way a spider hunts for food? Livia?
It could find something that might be close to its color and blend in, and then whenever something comes in that it likes to eat, he'll go and then he'll get it.
So that sounds like a good strategy. If you just kind of blend in with your surroundings, we call that camouflage, right? Yep. And then maybe the other insect wouldn't notice the spider, right? Do you know of any other ways besides making a trap or camouflaging yourself that a spider might hunt for food? Avery? Have a web. That's the number one thing I think of.
That's what I
Have
was
a
gonna
web.
say.
Then you've got your flying insects, and boop, they fly right into that web, right?
No, they might see it.
Okay.
They're super
Spider
dumb.
web, yeah. They're so
Well, we're going to hold that thought because we're going to read about earthworms. Dirty work. Earthworm squiggles. Earthworm squirms. Earthworm dines on dirt and germs. Earthworm dodges. Earthworm weaves. Earthworm nibbles dead, wet leaves. Earthworm crawls. Earthworm creeps. Earthworm tunnels. Rarely sleeps. Oh, I heard someone say this before, that you've seen an ant in the dirt. And here's a poem about an ant.
That's what I
City builder.
saw that.
1,000 ants without a sound build a city underground. Without light, they build halls. Down and down the city sprawls. Without rest, they tug and toil. Grain by grain, remove soil. Without a leader in the gloom, they scoop and hollow out each room. Without tools, they clean and sweep and build their city strong and deep. Avery? So many rhyming words. I heard underground sound, halls, sprawls, toil, soil, gloom, room, and sweep rhymes with deep.
That's a lot of
Grub, grass killer. Oh, look at grub, grub, grass killer, grub. Alliteration, right in the title. Down in the grass, down in the soil, down in the roots, grubs spoil. Down in the dirt, dark, down in the dirt, down in the silence, grub alert. Did you hear some repeating words?
down,
Did you? And how about that rhythm? Down in the grass, down in the soil, down in the roots, grubs spoil. Down in the dark, down in the dirt, down in the silence, grub alert.
That's the grub alert.
Mouse, nightfall calls. Below the doodlebugs and grubs, still farther down, a small brown ball of fur stirs, rests, digesting last night's berry, insect seed, needs to rouse from sleep, creep through steep halls, as nightfall calls it from its tunneled home to venture out, to roam. I think I'm going to skip the bumblebee in the interest of time. In the interest of time, and go to yellow jacket wasp. Warning, warning, warning. Inside that nest, inside that hole, inside the ground are found 1,000 warnings to go around. A repeating word. Inside, inside, inside.
And warning.
At the very beginning, right? Yep. Mole, worm search. Ridges, mounds, tunnels, holes, earthworm gobbling, hungry moles. Ridges, mounds, tunnels, holes. Handiwork of tiny trolls, furry demons on patrol, working where it's black as coal. Tracking down a worm's the goal of every tiny mole troll soul.
I see another one in there. I see a grub.
There's a grub.
Oh, there is the grub. Grub alert. Ridges, mounds, tunnels, holes, earthworm goblin, hungry moles. Toad. Bedtime. Above ground, the leaves pile deep as Toad begins to claw and creep down through dirt to make a nest where it can take its winter rest. Time now for Toad to sleep. Good night, Toad. Chipmunk. Busy, busy, busy. Chipmunk. For such a little squirt, you sure do move a lot of dirt. You sure do dig your tunnels deep. You sure do find some nuts to keep. You sure do know you're underground. Chipmunk. You sure do get around.
You sure?
My
There's so
favorite
much
poem.
Down in the ground.
Oh, there were a lot of rhymes in this one, weren't there? Lots of rhyming words in chipmunk. This one is called Gopher Tortoise. Now, a tortoise is a turtle that only lives on the ground. He doesn't go swimming in the water like a turtle. So a tortoise is a land animal only. Now, gopher is actually the name of another animal, a mammal. And do you know where a gopher lives?
No. Underground.
He lives in holes in the ground. So when they call this tortoise a gopher tortoise, I'm thinking he's a tortoise that actually lives in a hole in the ground. The subtitle is The Innkeeper, I-N-N, The Innkeeper. Do you know what an I-N-N is?
Hotel.
It's like a hotel or a motel. It's a place, you're not at home, you're traveling, and you need a place to spend the night. You can stay in a hotel, a motel, or an inn. So they're calling the gopher tortoise the innkeeper. The gopher tortoise has a lot of guests. He never knows who might show up today. He never shows them if he thinks they're pests. Patiently, he walks around their nests, gently moves some bunnies in his way. He never shows them if he thinks they're pests. Skunks and foxes have to pass a test. They know they must behave if they're to stay. The gopher tortoise has a lot of guests. The gopher tortoise never seems distressed when someone else moves in while he's away. He never shows them if he thinks they're pests. The gopher tortoise always does his best to go about his business, come what may. The gopher tortoise has a lot of guests. Perhaps the gopher tortoise thinks he's blessed. It could be he's content, but who can say? The gopher tortoise has a lot of guests. He never shows them if he thinks they're pests. Yes, guests rhymes with pests.
And pests and
Guess
guests
the
are
rhyming word.
Which
Think
was,
they're pests. And repeat. And there's an onomatopoeia.
he never shows them with their pests. Now, what animals share an underground burrow with the gopher tortoise? What animals are, I need a hand, what animals are sharing the underground burrow with the gopher tortoise? Una? A skunk. Wow, that's kind of crazy. Camilla? A fox and Mariana? A bunny. Very good. I want you to hold that thought because we have one last poem, and this is kind of our closing poem, okay? It's called And Now We Know. Beneath our feet, beyond our sight, below the roots where green grass grows, there's more to dirt than we'd suppose. In places black as night, creatures slither, wriggle, creep, nurse their babies, snuggle, sleep. There's more to dirt than we'd suppose. Quiet things in hidden holes burrow down where secrets lie. There's more to dirt than meets the eye. From centipedes to mousy voles, they come and go without a sound. Seek their safety underground. There's more to dirt than meets the eye. Creatures large and small retreat where boulders rest and tree rocks drink, tree roots drink. There's more to dirt than we might think. So many lives beneath our feet, so much to learn, so much to know, and now we've learned a lot. Although there's more to dirt than we might think.
There's more to dirt than we think.
Now you did such a great job of pointing out rhyming words, repeating words, rhythms. You're like the experts on that, so we're not going to spend any more time on that. I just have 2 questions about the book. Were you surprised by any of the animals that live underground? Were you surprised? Smith, were you surprised by any of the animals that actually which one surprised you?
The spider.
Same
Because
with
I never thought spiders lived under land.
I've seen one.
I mean, I had no idea that a spider could even dig a hole in the dirt like that.
Me neither.
So that was a big surprise to me as well.
Yeah, I've seen one of those.
Any other animals that you were surprised to learn that they live, at least part of the time, underground? Andrea? The bumblebee, which I didn't even read that particular poem to you, but that is kind of surprising because, I mean, I thought bees, like, buzzed around and lived in the air.
And they eat flowers.
Right? So, we didn't read this, but indeed, it does show the illustration. You know, all these animals live underground, so apparently the bee lives underground too. Okay, I've got time for one more, and then we've got to get into our assignment, okay? Leah. The wasp. That was another one. I never knew wasps lived underground. I've seen a nest like this before, but I saw it in a tree or on the side of a house.
I saw one. I saw one
I
at my
never saw
grandma's
one.
house.
It's so weird.
At my
Okay.
grandma's house.
Now, whew, okay, we have just enough time, so listen carefully. Listen carefully. Now, each of you is going to have an opportunity to create your very own underground creature. You remember the different types of creatures that were living underground? We had insects, a worm, spiders, mammals, and even a reptile. So you're going to need to think about what kind of creature you want to create. and you have to think about what kind of adaptations will it have to be able to live underground, and how will it get its food. These are things you have to think about. Now today, you are going to create your underground creature using Legos, okay? So very quickly, I'm just going to model for you. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but how I might decide to build an underground creature using Legos. Now, I don't know if I probably mentioned, but you know the turtle's my favorite animal, right?
Yeah.
So I think I might be interested in building a turtle that lives underground. So
Create
I think I'm going to use this as my base, and then you know, what does a turtle have on his back?
a shell.
A shell, right?
I think you should do that
So-
as a shell.
I'm going to make this yellow stuff his shell, like this. Okay. Oh, and he's going to need like a neck and a head, right?
Yeah.
And- And some legs, right? Like maybe we could use these for his legs. Do you see how I'm working quickly?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Legs. How many legs does he have?
4.
4, okay.
Another one right there.
Oh, I'm gonna have to be very creative here. But you get the idea, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm gonna get one more leg on here, and then I'm gonna need his, that's not bad, right?
Not
I'm
bad.
gonna need his, ooh, this would be a cool neck.
I think I know how
I'm gonna have his neck, and he's gonna need a head, right? Ooh, this is kinda cool.
You put the neck on his
What do you
shell.
think?
Good.
Okay, now I'm just going super fast to show you. But this is an example.
Shell.
I've got his shell, his 4 legs, his neck, and his head, and I just went super fast. But this is my tortoise who can live underground, okay? So you're gonna have an opportunity to use the Legos to build your own creature, okay? After you build your creature, you're gonna have to write some sentences about your creature, okay? And you're going to get, I'll deliver these cards to you, and I'll put some sentence starters on the board for you. But you are going to write, my creature is called a blank. Okay. My creature is called a blank. It likes to eat blank. So for me, I would write, my creature is called a gopher tortoise. It likes to eat lettuce, grass, and leaves. Okay? And I've got my sentence starters right over here on the board, so you don't have to worry about your sentences. I've got your sentence starters right here. My creature is called blank. It likes to eat blank. And now, I want you to listen carefully. I'm going to tell you which table to go to, and you're going to get straight to work on your Lego creature. Any questions?
No.
I have one.
Yes, Saul.
Can we make anything that comes to our mind?
Well, I want you to design an underground creature, but yes, you can build one of the animals from our book. Maybe you know about another animal that lives underground. You could build that. Or if you want to create some brand new imaginary underground creature, you may build that.
Can I go put these on
Smith,
the desk?
yes, you may. All right, so listen carefully.
Thank you.
Let's have at the purple table. Let's have Lucas, Ava, Livia, and Jessica. At the green table, let's have Liam Fowler,
I'm already getting started.
Liam Hermit. Oh, the green table's over there. Liam.
Jessica.
Camilla,
Only get
Andrea.
pieces of
At the red table, let's have Angel, Jason, Mariana, and Una. At the orange table, let's have Saul, Joseph, Avery, and Leah. And you know what, Smith, we're gonna have a fifth person. Can you go to the purple table? Thank you.
Find some
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Hello, I am the king. I'm going to do a spider. I am not. I said I am not. This is cool. Oh, look.
Here are your cards.
Look what I found.
sentences?
How is it so good?
Sentences?
She did so good.
Some pencils?
Okay, she has. Oh, she's overexperienced with Lego.
No, pencils.
Oh my god.
No, Sherry.
Look, I found a person's head. Bro, look.
Pencil.
I found two. What is that? I found two. Hey, that's mine. I was using There's two. Lucas, look. I just want to make dragon. Hey, I'm it's like shiny red. Do you want these? I want that.
Love it.
How to build mine. It's complete.
And I can connect the tail.
Oh, wait.
Oh, I got stairs. Well, I got stairs. Well, my hand is I know what we're doing. Wait, what is it?
Oh, look what I found.
Wait.
I found the wand, bro. I want the rocket ship, bro. I want to use the rocket ship. Right, you have it. Yeah, I want to use it.
What was that?
I found the red one.
Oh, you got a red one?
Class.
Yes.
That was so nice. Can I have all 20 eyeballs on you, please?
Yes.
Put those Legos down, clasp your hands, and look this way. I'm waiting on Angel. Okay, listen up. We still have time to build, don't worry. We still have time to write our sentences, okay? However, I kind of want to close up with the video so we don't have to have all of our noisy Legos in the video for the rest of class. So Ava, your hands should be clasped. I'm gonna wrap up some of my teacher talking parts and then let you get back to work. Jason, I need your hands clasped and eyeballs right here, okay? So, I want you to think about a couple of things, okay? Today, we shared, I need all those eyes, I need hands clasped. I know it's so exciting. Today we shared some entertaining and educational poems about animals that live underground. Poetry can be, Smith? Poetry can be written about any topic that you can imagine. I have a book of poems right over there on that shelf that's about Star Wars characters, okay? And we don't have to limit our poetry reading to the month of... We don't have to limit our poetry reading to the month of April. Just because April is National Poetry Month doesn't mean we only read poetry during April, okay? We can read poetry all year long. And I really hope that you will keep finding poems to read, and I hope you're going to keep thinking about all the different animals that live beneath your feet. When you go outside for recess, when you get to go out in the garden during a science lesson, look at the dirt. What do you see? Do you see some of the animals we learned about? Maybe you're going to find some new animals you didn't realize lived underneath the ground, okay? Also, I want to share a couple of other books with you that you might be interested in. I should not hear Legos right now because hands are clapped. If you enjoyed poems about animals that live underground, here are some other poetry books you might like. This one is called Beast Feast. These poems are all about different animals. Beast Feast, and it's got fantastic illustrations inside it. The poet is Douglas Florian, and he writes a lot of poems for kids. Here's another book of poems by Douglas Florian. This one's called Comets, Stars, the Moon, and Mars. Guess what these poems are about?
Space.
Things in outer space, absolutely. And then I love this one. This one's called Dark Emperor and Other Poems of the Night. What animal do you see on the cover of this one?
An owl.
An owl. So this is about poems. These are poems about animals that are active during the nighttime, nocturnal animals, okay? Now, maybe you just like animals and you'd like to learn more about animals, but you want to branch out from poetry. Doodlebug, one of the animals in our book. I never heard of a doodlebug. Look, I've got a whole book here called Do Doodlebugs Doodle. Amazing insect facts. Okay, so it just asks a little question on one page about the animal, and then you turn the page and it answers the question for you. Or maybe you want to learn more about the gopher tortoise. Here's a book all about the gopher tortoise called At Home with the Gopher Tortoise. And finally, I have a kind of a silly one here called Butt or Face. Can you tell which end of the animal you're looking at?
Can I see?
Okay, butt or face?
Face.
Okay.
Bro,
So this is a fun book too. It's silly, but it's all factual information. Now, the very last thing I'm going to do while we're still on camera is I'm going to give each one of you a sticky note. Everyone should have a pencil. On this sticky note, I want you to answer this question. How important do you think dirt is and why? How important do you think dirt is and why? Give me a thumbs up if you understand the question. How important do you think dirt is and why? Okay, I'm going to deliver your sticky note. I want the sticky note done first. And as soon as you're done with your sticky note, you may get back to your Legos. Sticky note first, and as soon as you're done with your sticky note, you may get back to your Legos. Okay?
It's gonna be its own.
As soon as you're done with your sticky note, you may get back to your Legos. How
Look what I'm
important
doing.
do you think dirt
Look
is?
at the
We have to go
Why?
on the leg.
You like mine? No, it's not.
Oh, I'll put dirt on the board.
Do your sticky note.
Sticky note first, and then finish your Legos. Sticky note first, and then finish your Legos.
Okay, what are we writing
I
in?
did the
On the sticky note, you're going to write, how important do you think dirt is and why?
You like my driving so
Okay, and if you need to know how to spell dirt, dirt, D-I-R-T. How important do you think dirt is and why? When you're done, hold up your sticky note and I will collect it from you, okay? I should not hear Legos right now. I should see pencils in your hand. You're writing your answer on your sticky note. Hold up that sticky note when you're done. And I will collect it.
I'm making my animal.
Good job, Paul.
Dirt. Just take her thing. I'm just making dirt. Pressure's in the dirt.
Sticky note. Where's your pencil, buddy?
I don't have one.
Here it is. Jessica, do you have a pencil? Oh, I see this pencil lead broke. Let me get you a new one. How important do you think dirt is and why? Here you go, Jessica. Oh, I'm collecting these sticky notes. And as soon as I collect your sticky note, you get to go back to work. Okay. Borrow one from a neighbor. Oh, how important do you think dirt is and why? And as soon as you're done, you may get back to work on your Legos. All right. Parker, are you done with your sticky note? Liam, are you done with your sticky note? I need it, please. Thank you. Amazing. Done with your sticky note? Anyone else done with their sticky note? Awesome. Oh, very good. I like that, Andrea. Anyone else?
What are you
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Anyone else ready for collecting? Anyone else ready for collecting?
She can literally just get another one.
Yes?
Easy fix.
Alright, back to work on your Legos.
I don't even want it. But you can't take this.
Jessica, you ready?
This is my animal.
Lucas, are you done? With your sticky note? Okay.
I don't know how. What's your name? I do not really like this.
It's supposed to be on this one. Not on the sticky note. This one right here. Huh?
All right.
Wait, do you do the my animal called on the sticky note?
You'll do that on your response card.
Oh, come on.
All right, ladies and gents.
Told you.
I'm going to turn off our video. I'll collect the last of the sticky notes. And everyone else, let's finish up your Legos.
Oh, we have to.
Bye.
Yeah? You're doing great.
Bye.
Hey, why would you do that, my friend?